And that means we are officially live. And what a better time to be alive than right now, because football is back, baby. We stream football in less than 2 hours from recording this podcast. And if you're listening to any other form besides YouTube Live, it means game one has already happened. What a game. Huh? What a game. You remember that game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that game. There was,
amazing game.
There was that throw. There was that catch. That
crazy
catch was
play.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. And I can't believe that team beat the other team.
Oh, no, I saw that coming. I called it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
a lot of points scored.
Actually, though, battle of the bettors. I've got the Chiefs minus 9.5. You've got that over 54.5. So we'll see after this happens how that pans
53.5.
out. The other thing is at 54.
No, it's 53.5.
Oh, well.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference. You may as well just hand you the win right now.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault I went first. You said I can go first.
Fair. But, yep, so Battle of the Bettors, that's what we do throughout the entire year. We went on a pause for COVID, but we are officially back. Sewell and I go head-to-head every single day, one bet, either the spread or totals, and we see who comes out on top every week, as well as the end of the year, and you are officially listening to last year's winner. You actually, my friend, stuff to do stand-up comedy.
Well, I don't know how you'd like me to do that, Chaz. That's not safe at all. I don't think the CDC would like that very much.
You're sure right they wouldn't, but I went to a rooftop the other night and saw the city, and on my way, in doing so, they had outdoor live comedy.
Really?
So anything is possible, my friend. Humans can persevere.
Can't they just? Yeah, but you know what? I would like for it to be safer. I think it should be safer before I do that.
Fine. I will give you that. But again, we'll see what happens at the end of this week and at the end of the year. But to get back on track with the podcast, we have a pretty packed schedule for today. We're going to start off with our last second covers of the week, as we always do here on Last Second Covers. We'll then move into the ever so exciting news that we have got cooking, which is NFL football officially back. How could you not love it? We'll go into the NBA playoffs because the bubble is going on in its own right. Can't forget about some basketball love. Then we'll move to our rumor mill and wrap it up with our bottom of the barrel for this week, which has to do with some of the craziness we saw in the MLB last night with the Braves going absolute ballistic. So first things first, Sula, do you want to kick it off with your last second cover?
Sure, I'll go first. I'm going to kick it off with the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks. This was either... forgot to write the date down, but it was either last night or the day before.
Okay.
It's one of those two. And this game actually went into extra innings where they were tied 4-4. And the Dodgers actually, with a lot of help from the new rule, apparently, where you just start with a guy on second. Yeah. So the start, Chris Taylor just gets a single, drives in Seager, and automatically makes it 5-4. And then later in the inning, A.J. Pollock also gets a hit and brings in Chris Taylor to putting up 6-4, which would end up being the final score, which covers the Dodgers minus 1.5, but it also covers the over, which was set at 9, and the final score being 6-4, 10 runs, 2 last-second covers. You gotta love that.
That's crazy. I hate that new rule.
Such a stupid rule.
I mean, why is it different than I know they want to try to speed up the game, but may as well just end it now.
So who goes to second? Do you get to choose? Is it the next guy up?
I would assume it's either because I actually don't know myself, because I always see it's different people and I always get confused by who it is. I'm assuming it's either the guy who made the last out or the guy who'd be due up. But I couldn't tell you. Okay.
But yeah, that's what I got. You got a twofer there.
That is a twofer. That's a shitty twofer if you were on the opposite side of it.
Yeah, but who's taking the Diamondbacks over the Dodgers?
Well, no, plus 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of stinks there. You see it happen. Yeah. But, all right, fair one. I like it. A twofer. Mine is also in baseball. I know, baseball. Everyone's least favorite sport to bet on. But we're going to go back to this one a couple days ago on September 8th. It was the White Sox at the Pirates. The White Sox, obviously, the much better team. They were favored both on the money line and on the run line, minus 1.5. And the White Sox, being the White Sox, take the lead. They're up 3-2. They score one more in the 8th with that insurance run to go up 4-2. But then all of a sudden, just like you see all the time in baseball, they blow it in the eighth, giving up 2 runs and tying it 4-4. At which point you go, all right, at least hopefully they could eke it out. They're the better team. I could at least get my money line winning here. And then the worst way to lose, Yasmani Grandal, their catcher, commits an error that brings the final run home for the Bucks as they walk it off in the bottom of the ninth to win 5-4, and not only cover their +1.5 and spoil the White Sox money line, but also that game total was 9, and they finished 5-4. So if you had the under in that game, you went from a winner to watching them implode and error for a push. Brutal.
Hey, brutal. But as I've said multiple times, a push is a win.
A push is not a win.
A push is a win. You didn't lose. You didn't lose. You don't lose money.
That's like when people say you walk out of a casino with your money, that's a win. I say no.
That's a win too.
No.
That's definitely a win.
No, it's not. Matt, our producer's shaking his head in the background too. No, it's not. Make some money, huh? That's a win.
Definitely a win. Yeah, but you got to spend your day in a casino, which is pretty cool.
You told me you hate the casino.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm just very confused by you.
Yeah, but if I go to the casino, I am entirely expecting to lose money. If I walk out even, I'm pretty happy.
But you didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. You got to play the game.
You spend money on food and beer, and you lose money.
So it's a regular night out. Just with gambling.
Yeah, okay. Fine. I still consider it a loss, but
it's a win to me.
All right. Walking out of the casino split, that's a win. Pushing, it's a win for Matt. I try to make some money, but we'll let it impasse.
Okay.
So those are the last second covers of the week. Obviously frustrating for some people there, but if you were frustrated by that, you could at least be excited by what's happening tonight as we record. It is week 1 of the NFL season officially kicking off tonight. We got our game in Kansas City. It is the Texans at the Chiefs -9.5. Like we said, Sula, you have the total at 53.5. I could have sworn it's 54.5, but you sly dog. You got that point.
Yeah. It sounds like you just want to cheat. It's 53.5.
I'm not cheating. It was 54.5.
When I looked, it was 53.
All right. I mean, we even said 54.5, but you know what? I'll give it to you. I'm a fair man, but a lot to be excited about tonight. What are you looking forward to most too? Because we get to watch this game at the end of the podcast. What are you looking forward to for the fact that we finally have football?
I'm kind of looking forward to see what it's like without fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I know baseball kind of pulled it off, like it's fine, but basketball I think totally pulled it off, and I think football's probably is the best shot at pulling it off because you don't really see the fans much anyways. The camera's always on the field unless someone scores, and now if someone scores, you just keep it on the celebration. Like, I don't think it'll be that hard, but I wonder if they're doing anything fun with it. I want to see what they do with that, but also just watch football is also up there.
I'm also like pretty interested about the no fans aspect. Like, and we said it in past podcasts about like baseball and basketball and everything. And I agree the same way as what you said. Like, baseball kind of did. It's kind of boring with just the cutouts, but there's not much you can really do. Basketball did a great job with the virtual fans. Football, I kind of have a little more reservations about because I think the fans add a large aspect of it. Right? I think it's going to be kind of more on the side of baseball where you have these empty stadiums. It's going to be kind of awkward, especially if they only filter in like a little bit of crowd noise, like they're saying. Like, it's not going to be crazy. So I kind of expect there might be a noticeable difference, but to that same token, like if you watch soccer live, it's not a huge difference. They kind of do their own thing on the tech board. So we'll see about it. We'll see. But I'm kind of expecting a big impact, at least from an observation standpoint. But again, we'll find out tonight.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I do think, though, without the fans, what's going to be a lot of fun is I think the offenses are going to be huge advantage.
You think so?
Now,
I guess it's quiet.
It's quiet. You can get all your, if you're trying to call an audible, it's like playing in Kansas City or in Seattle. Like, a lot of the times you see the quarterbacks like going like this, make sure I get them quiet, or the opposing team can't get to the outside wide receiver. Like, I think the offenses get a huge advantage in this.
Fair. Unless you're in Jacksonville, where they don't even have a crowd to begin with.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to be no different. That's fine. They're used to it already.
Very fair. But we have, now that we're kicking off, the last time that we get to make hot takes for the beginning of the season is now. So why don't we kick it off? Sula, what is one thing that you have for this season that you're saying, like, no one could see coming? You had a couple last year, and I'm curious what you have this year.
My one this year, I mentioned it last week, and it's that the Raiders are going to be in contention for the wild card, and I think can win it. I know you're shaking your head, but every single year since John Gruden has taken over coaching, they have overachieved and improved. And I think that's only going to continue this year. They have nailed it on all their draft picks since he's come into coach. And I think same thing's going to happen this year. I think Henry Ruggs is going to be sick. I think Derek Carr is only going to get better. And I think they're going to sniff the wild card.
Dude, Derek Carr almost lost his starting job.
He's not losing his starting job.
He almost did.
But he's not going to.
Well, no, because Mariota.
Derek Carr is a good quarterback.
He's fine.
He's good.
He's fine.
He would have won the MVP a few years ago had he not broken his back.
I don't think he would have won the MVP.
Oh, he was lead contender at the time. Like the odds on him were like plus 100. He was
doesn't mean he's going to win. He could have just imploded like he does.
With 3 games left, I don't think so. I think if he didn't break his back, that team he was going to win the MVP.
We also got a really tough division there too in the AFC West. You got the Chiefs, Chargers.
The Chiefs. I don't think the Chargers or the Broncos are really going to be all that special. Well, especially now Von Miller's out for the season.
That's what I was going to say. Is Von Miller being out the season is a big difference for Denver.
Bradley Chubb is always hurt.
So what happens with Chubb?
I like the Raiders this season.
All right, that is definitely a hot take. My hot take for this year would be to, and I hate to say it, my hot take for this year would be to like watch out for the Giants.
The Giants? What, are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not out of my mind, dude. Their offense,
terrible.
I know they were awful last year, but they did some good things this year. I don't like it. I'm a Jets fan. I don't like the Giants, but Daniel Jones is really good. They have good offensive weapons. They made their line better. I don't think their defense is going to be great. I'm not going to go out and say that they will, but I think they'll definitely be better. And the rest of the NFC East, like, I think the Cowboys are good. The Eagles are decent. I think they kind of overachieve. But the Washington football team is going to be absolute ass. So you never know. That's my Raiders, man. It would be the Giants. And I don't like saying it, but watch out for the G-men.
All right. Do you have any others? Because I have another one.
Well, why don't you go first?
I think we're going to see what happened with Cam Newton after his MVP season is going to happen with Lamar Jackson. And he's not going to be this generational quarterback we all think. Sure, he's going to be good still. He's still going to be very good. He's not going to be even close to what he did last year.
Are you just saying that just because?
No, because I really don't think so. I think when you finally get the tape, you get a full season of tape on him, you can now coaches have a better scheme for him. They can game plan better, and he's not going to be as good. All right. His numbers are not, I don't think they're going to be comparable.
He's got a pretty sick offense and defense. I mean,
listen, this is the hot takes, no?
This is fair. This is the hot
takes. You want
takes.
me to come in here and say Daniel Jones is going to be okay?
Fair.
Like, no.
Fair. Got to get Sean Evans on this too, so we'll hit him up after this. Let's see. Hot take for me. This isn't a hot take. This is a very obvious take. Mitchell Trubisky is going to be bad. Hot take. Why not look out for the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lions, the more I thought about it from last week, I think the Lions can win the North. I think they can.
They have to squeak by the Packers, but
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be that good this season.
No, he had a.
You even said that after you even said that once he broke up with what's her name.
That's true.
Danica.
Yeah, when he was over with Danica, that's a very fair point. That's a good throwback to a previous pod.
Yeah,
she broke his heart, and when Olivia Munn did the same thing, he had like the worst year of his career, which is just the absolute most hysterical correlation.
Yeah,
and obviously it implies causation because it happened. But yeah, I don't. If they could beat the Packers, I think the Vikings aren't going to be as good as people think. I'm a big Kirk Cousins hater. I hate Kirk Cousins for reasons related to the Jets contract situation. I also just don't think he's really that good. But yeah, the Bears, they have a great defense. And if it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky, they're going to have a horrible offense. So I'd say the Bears are irrelevant.
Yeah. But another thing on the Lions, I mean, they should have, early in the season, should have had 2 more wins than they should have with that horrible officiating in Green Bay. And then just the bonehead assistant coach calling a timeout for some fucking reason against
I didn't know they could do that.
I didn't know they could do that either. But they did it. Cost them 2 wins. And also, they looked very good before Matt Stafford got hurt.
Right, exactly. Like, people look at the record. You can never look at a record to say this is how a team is because they always have like a key injury.
Yeah.
So
also now, I mean, they have a pretty decent rotation at running back, which I don't think Matt Stafford has ever had 1,000-yard running back.
Yeah, well, who's the running back?
Still might not.
Kerryon Johnson is second string. Is DJ Swift the starter?
I think they're gonna split a lot, but they also added Adrian Peterson, so that's
that's true.
That's a 3-headed dragon right there. That I think is going to be tough to stop.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Do you have any more hot takes? Because I have one.
Go for it.
Jets. Wild card. They're not winning the division, but they're going to make the wild card.
I mean, okay. I don't think so at all. They're gonna be last in the division.
No, they're not gonna be last in the division. Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is quarterback for Miami. The Patriots have half of their defense out. The Jets only got better.
Did they?
Yeah.
Who's their number 1 wide receiver? Brashard Perriman?
It's here you go. 3-headed monster between Denzel Mims, Brashard Perriman, and Jamison Crowder. So
right. Okay.
They're all decent receivers.
Not a number 1 to be seen. Not a number 2 to be seen.
But what did we learn from the Patriots? You don't need a number 1 to be a good offense.
I mean, yeah, if you want to compare Adam Gase to Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, go for it. Or Sam Darnold to Tom Brady. You said
Adam Gase is a good coach. I never said Adam Gase is a good coach. You said
I never compared him to Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick.
I didn't do that either. I didn't do that.
Kind of did. Comparing offenses.
What I said is you don't need to have a true number 1 receiver to be good in this league.
All right. Sure.
But that's what I'm saying. They got better on offense. They got better on defense. AFC East got weaker. Who knows? That's my take, though. And I've watched the Jets for 24 years now. They disappointed me every single year. So, hot take, put it down. It's going to happen for a 25th straight, but you got to put it in the books. Yeah. But I got one question for you then.
What's that?
What's Baker's touchdown and interception numbers?
I would say Baker Mayfield this season has 29 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Oh, you put 10 because you weren't going to say single digits again, were you?
I was thinking 11, but I was like, let's just nice round number 10.
Dude, single digits, you lost that bet in like 5 weeks.
Listen, again, that was the hot take segment. I don't know what you want from me.
Though.
You want, yeah, I was. But also, I didn't think he would have the worst offensive line in the league.
It doesn't matter. He threw pick after pick.
Right. Listen, that happened. But they have a better offensive line this year. They add Austin Hooper. Odell will be better in the system. I think it's going to be good. That's going to be a very good offense this year.
Well, speaking of Odell, perfect topic to discuss. The man likes to get shit on.
I don't believe it.
What are your thoughts?
I don't believe it at all.
Not even a little bit?
Not even a little bit. I do not believe those girls. I think they saw what happened the first time when they did the whole Suns thing and the Trey Songz thing, and they said, let's do it again. That's what I think happened.
That's a completely respectable and believable situation. What I like to think happened was that he was like a normal dude when he went to LSU and when he was in New York and everything. And then he moved to Cleveland, and he was like, well, I'm pretty bored. Let's pick up a new hobby. And he just asked people to shit on him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I know. What else are you going to do?
Do you think it was like after like Chipotle or like Taco Bell or something, or do you think like it was like a salad poop?
No, you start
Which is also pretty
salad
bad,
poop.
actually. Now that I think about it,
No,
salad poops are pretty bad.
You start with the things that are like little nugs, and then you grow your way up to the
I
Taco
don't
Bells and Chipotles.
right, but okay, but I don't think you can like predict that.
You pay for it.
Right, but like the girl doesn't know it's or the dude, whatever. I don't know what he was into.
Fair.
I mean,
fair PC.
I don't know what I don't know. Listen, if I just took someone off the street and said, "What did you last eat?" I still don't know what's coming out of there. It could be anything.
But that's why you pay for top end, so you do know. You could request a certain meal.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. This might be mean. This might not be mean. That girl wasn't top end.
Probably not. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I
saw the video. She wasn't.
I've done a lot of research on this, and it is possible to require certain actions to be completed, including eating from a menu. So I think it happened.
Okay, sure. I don't think it happened. I'm on Odell's side here. I was not the biggest Odell fan. Still am not. I think it'd be very funny if this was true. I don't think it's true.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's going to be something to watch in case he has to go to the bathroom during the middle of the Browns games. But it goes into what I think might be an interesting lock and an interesting shock for this coming season. So we kind of talked about the shocks with our hot takes. But I want to hear from you what you think is going to be like the biggest lock in all of football, and then what like the biggest shocker is, like what, potential lock that everyone's looking at eyes on is not going to perform the way they should.
Okay, so biggest, I guess I'll do lock first, and that is, I guess, the Chiefs win the West. Is that one?
That's a lock. Yeah.
That's definitely a lock. Chiefs win the West. Ravens win the North, or what? North? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I always forget if that's the North or not for some reason.
That's like definitely the North.
Like I feel like Baltimore shouldn't be in the North.
Yeah, well, yeah, Buffalo should be in the North if anything, but
yeah, but those would probably be my two locks. I'd give Pat Mahomes MVP too.
Okay, that's a pretty good one. I'll go. I mean, the same thing. Chief is the big lock in the AFC West. I'm not so sure about the Ravens in case like the Steelers do something because they got a pretty elite defense there in Pittsburgh. But I guess my other lock would be. This might be crazy to say, but I think it's a lock that the Niners win the NFC West. Even with the Seattle Seahawks there, I'm going to call that a lock.
I'd give that a lock too.
Yeah,
I'd co-sign that.
Thank you for co-signing. I appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Biggest shock though, I think is going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I think the offense is going to be undoubtedly really good. Mm-hmm. I think the defense is not going to be as good as people are hoping to become like the 12-4, 13-3 team that people are saying that they might be. They lost Byron Jones in free agency, which is huge, and they really didn't get a very good safety, including they even cut Clinton Dix out of nowhere. So I don't know what they see in their secondary in Dallas, but that is a huge part of any defense. And other than that, really all I can name is DeMarcus Lawrence as like a big defensive guy. But that defense, otherwise, like you lost your star corner and didn't really do anything to replace him. So what else do you got there? Mm-hmm. Not much.
Not much. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see it. I think that offense is going to carry that team, no matter how bad that defense is. I just think they're too talented. But definitely not out of the realm possibility. But even if they're not that good, I don't see them finishing lower than second in the NFC East.
Watch out for those G-men.
I mean, you said it already. Dude, I'm not watching out for them. I don't think I'm going to watch it. Actually, I have Saquon on like all my fantasy teams, so I'll probably have to watch some Giants games.
You should be hoping that he does well then.
Yeah, but not the Giants.
Yeah,
fuck the Giants.
Well, okay, now that's on record. You're going to be watching a lot of Giants too out in Stanford.
No, I think we get the. Well, I don't have cable, so I can watch whatever I want.
Not kill it all. All right.
As long as I have internet, which I don't right now, I can watch whatever I want.
If you notice, if there's any sort of like audio issue with Sula's end, which actually sounds like it's going pretty well, but he is actually without any sort of internet or power, so he's doing this from his phone. So
unfortunately,
doing a great job with what we got. So clap, clap, clap.
Clap.
But that's my big shock would be the Cowboys. But what do you have as a shock? Who would be a lock that you don't think is going to hit?
A lock that the Saints.
Really?
The more I've been thinking about it, Drew Brees looked bad last season. He does not have the arm that he did. He does not throw a tight spiral anymore. I honestly think he might be what Peyton was in his last year this season.
That was bad, dude. You think it's gonna be that bad?
I think it's gonna be that bad. Maybe not that bad, but it's gonna be like there are gonna be a few games where like it's gonna be people are gonna say that. Is what I think. I just don't think his arm's there anymore. Yeah, and then if that happens, he's got weapons, but if he can't get the ball to him, then what's he going to do? And God forbid he plays so bad, you got to put Jameis in.
Well, you put Taysom Hill over Jameis. He's second on the depth chart.
Taysom Hill's not going to be the every down quarterback over Jameis Winston.
We'll see. Watch out. He
gets snapped in half on the first sack, I feel like.
Yeah, well, yeah, agreed. Actually, he takes hits. He gets some balls.
I feel like he doesn't touch the ball unless he's in the end zone. So I don't think he gets hit that much.
Okay.
Every time he touches the ball is a touchdown.
So you think the Saints are not going to do so well in the NFC South, is what you're saying?
I don't think so. This is also 60% I don't think so, 40% I'm hoping and praying.
Why? Oh, because Tom.
Because Tom. Yeah, Tom.
Okay.
But I do think from Drew Brees last season, it's very possible that this is like his last year. I know he signed a 2-year extension, but it could get bad.
Yeah, well, the 2-year extension is probably going to be the end for him.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know if it'll be this year's the big regression, but it might be. Like you said, like he's getting up there, his arms going, so we'll see.
That Max Kellerman cliff, it's coming for Drew before Tom.
Exactly. That's all I got to say to that. Is exactly. But so we will find out soon enough how all these takes are going to be right or wrong. Because again, NFL kicks off in less than an hour and a half. So pumped for that. But other than that, we cannot forget about the NBA still going on. I have to give you mad props. I mean, you didn't do anything, but your Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals. No, you didn't.
I watched every game, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot.
What a fan.
I know.
But your Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And with any luck, the Raptors beat the Celtics. Because I think that would be a much easier road to the finals. Granted, the past few, I think last week, whenever I listen to the Bill Simmons podcast, he's like an annoying Celtics fan. Mm-hmm. He doesn't think the Celtics have much of a shot against the Heat. He's worried about that matchup.
I don't know. The Celtics, I just played them on my 2K stream that I did a couple hours ago. They are fucking tough, bro. Like, Kemba is insane.
Yeah. Kemba's awesome.
It wasn't even Jason Tatum. It was Kemba who killed me. They did the cardiac Kemba step back like 20 times. Guess how many times it went in? 20.
Yeah. That's the thing about the Celtics though, is like it's like what you were saying about the Heat a few times. Like when one guy isn't good, like other guys step up, like everyone will probably have like 12, like there'll probably be 6 to 7 guys who have like 12 to 22 points. Anywhere in that range. The thing with the Celtics is they have 3 guys that can go any. If one guy's bad, another guy will have 30 points. And then some nights, 2 of them can have 30 points. Like, they're that kind of team, and they scare me.
Tougher without
the Raptors do not scare me.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, the Raptors, they have their best player is Kyle Lowry. Next is Fred VanVleet. And then it should be the best player is Pascal Siakam. But he has been MIA. The entire playoffs. He sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's hurt, even though he had all that time to recover. But he's not been good.
Not at all. He has, if you've been paying attention to the prop shop we have with all of our player props, D-Mills has taken like 5 straight games of Pascal Siakam's under and hit on all 5 because the dude just cannot score.
It's really strange. I know he's got good defenders on him, but like he was so good last year. Granted, he had the benefit of having Kawhi with him. He gets a lot of attention, but even like before the shutdown, he was really good, really, really good. He was like, was he an all-star?
Pascal Siakam, I think he was.
Yeah, he's an all-star. He's not looking like an all-star. He's looking like a bench player right now.
No, he really does look bad. Like it's not to the point where they'll play Chris Boucher over him, but something's got to change because Siakam's the guy who's supposed to like carry your team. Like Kyle Lowry is obviously the leader, but it's not supposed to be like OG Anunoby. No disrespect to my former Hoosier. Like I love OG Anunoby, but he's not supposed to be the guy carrying your team. It's supposed to be Pascal Siakam.
Right.
Where are you?
Right. And I know I kind of pivoted that to Celtics Raptors, but back to the Heat real quick and the Bucks. The Bucks, 1, looked better without Giannis.
Yes.
2, apparently he said he's not going to run away. Granted, it's because he has 1 more year in his contract, so he can't run away. But
it's fair.
I mean, I don't know, man. After next season, I don't see why he would stay there. Unless, because they're not going to get a big-time free agent. No one's going to be like, no one's going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll go hang out in Milwaukee for this much money. I think they'd rather go anywhere else. I think Milwaukee's probably the least sexy destination in the league for anybody.
I mean, I guess from a geographical location, probably. But this isn't my rumor for the rumor mill. I'll do something else. But apparently the Bucks are talking about potentially exploring a trade for Chris Paul to get him from the Thunder, which could be interesting because their point guards are pretty bad since Malcolm Brogdon left.
Yeah, they're doo-doo.
They put Eric Bledsoe out there and George Hill.
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe's supposed to be good. I don't know why. I know, it's weird.
He's not. He stinks every time he goes on the court.
Yeah. It's too bad. I liked him a lot when he was in Phoenix.
Yeah, he begged to get out of there. And he got his wish.
He got like everything handed to him. He got out of Phoenix. He is on a championship caliber team. But when he needs to step up, he doesn't do it.
No. I would normally say your take of the Bucks are better without Giannis to be a hot one. But honestly, they did. They kept up with the Heat the entire time and beat them. The only game they beat them was fully without Giannis. He was out in the second quarter, and they took care of business. And in Game 5, the game that they ended up losing, they at least stayed with it for most of the game. And then the Heat finally pulled away towards the end. But they were looking good. Like they just looked like more cohesive. Chris Middleton finally got to shine a little bit, which was interesting because when he's with Giannis, he's very hit or miss, especially in the playoffs lately. He's been very miss until this last round. And I don't know. I think they might be – I'm not going to say Giannis is overrated. Like his stats warrant being an MVP. But I don't think he's like the leader that everyone says that he is. Like he's not like this superstar. He's a star player, but he's not like – he's not going to lead a team to a championship. I'll say it. He's not going to lead a team to a championship.
Yeah. He is who was it Richard Jefferson who said he's a Pippin?
Yeah, Richard Jefferson did say that.
I'm not going to say that. Who I will say he's like is what you might think is weird is Kevin Durant, who couldn't get it done with his players in one place and will leave to go join a superstar somewhere else to take the pressure off of him. He's a lot like Kevin, except for the jump shot ability, which obviously Giannis has not even close. But it's going to be the same kind of path, same kind of story. Yeah,
I'm glad you put in that de facto comment because I was going to full-heartedly disagree of who they are as players because they are very different. I would take KD over Giannis any day of the week.
Yeah, me too.
Well, not blown out Achilles KD, but prime KD.
Right, healthy KD.
Yeah, but I agree with the sentiment of like they're going to kind of be like a little bit of snakes in the grass. Like they can't quite get it done, so I'll go to the guys that beat me.
But it's also like Pippen wasn't a superstar. Though Giannis is a superstar. Like, even if it's not just play wise, it's like everyone knows who he is. Like, I think everyone knows who he is now. I think he's gotten to that level where he's a recognizable face. Like, Pippen, I don't think was ever that.
Well, I don't think Pippen is like a Jordan, though. Like, if you said to the average household person Michael Jordan, they would know. If you said Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't think people know.
That's a different level. That's like a mega star.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's
Michael
like Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, like those kind of guys. Neither of them really touched that ceiling. Kevin Durant, I think people might know.
Right, but I would say Giannis is in the same camp as Kevin Durant at this point.
No, I don't think he is.
Oh, I think he is. We can disagree on that, but I think he is.
All right. But so again, going back to your Heat, they knocked out the Bucks 4-1 officially in the Eastern Conference Finals. We go to Game 7. Before we go into the Western Conference, who do you think your Heat are going to end up taking on?
I think it's going to end up being the Celtics.
I think so too.
Yeah, I just don't.
There.
I don't. None of the games that the Raptors have won made me go, oh, yeah, they're the better team.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised this series went to 7.
I am too after the first 2. Yeah.
If it weren't for OG draining that 3, this series would be well over and done. Like,
yeah.
No doubt. Celtics go up 3-0. No way that the Raptors even take 2.
No shot. I agree completely.
So I agree. It's going to be Celtics Heat. We'll go into next week about what that prediction would look like once we actually have it finalized, because we might even be wrong in that. But on the Western Conference, LA is up both 2-1 and 3-1, depending on the team. The Lakers are up 2-1 on the Rockets and play tonight as we record. And the Clippers just took Game 4 against the Nuggets to go up 3-1. So we're not fully at the Western Conference Finals yet, but if I had to say now, I would put quite a bit of money on it being an LA versus LA Western Conference Final like a lot of people expected.
I think you can put as much money on that as you want. You're not going to get a good payback.
Why? You think it's going to lose?
No, it's going to win, but it's going to be like minus 10,000.
Yeah, hey, made a couple bucks on $1,000 bet.
You'd make $10 on $1,000 bet.
Not too shabby.
Okay. But yeah, I agree. I think it's obviously going to be an LA finals, Western Conference Finals, and I just don't think the Clippers. I think it's going to be a good series. It's probably going to go 7, but I think it's the Lakers series to take at that point.
Wait, so I missed it. I thought you said the Clippers. Do you think the Lakers series is going to 7?
No, I'm saying the conference finals because we know how these series are going.
Yeah, okay.
We know how these series are going. Like the Rockets are not beating the Lakers. Nuggets are not beating the Clippers. Like, there's just no shot. I mean, the Rockets, like I said this when we did our prediction, the Rockets are going to shoot their way into a couple wins, like 1 or 2, but they're not winning the series. They're not winning 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised the Nuggets even took Game 2 when they did. I thought they were gassed. I think I said it was going to be a sweep. I'm a little surprised it's frankly not. I also said the Lakers series are going to be a sweep, and I immediately was wrong when the Rockets took Game 1, which was genuinely surprising to me. But then I remembered LeBron James doesn't try in Game 1s.
Yeah.
So
he even said after the game, he was like, "We know how they play now. Like, we know the speed that we have to go." And then boom, just 2 straight wins.
You play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. I think that's the stupidest expression, but that's what happened.
Very stupid expression, because then you're the asshole playing the wrong game.
Yeah, and why are you playing the wrong game? There's no reason for it.
Yeah, not at all.
He sacrificed Game 1, took Games 2 and 3. He's going to take Game 4 tonight. I see no way he doesn't. If he does and the series goes 2-2, I'll be genuinely surprised.
I'll be surprised as well. I think they win this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rockets took Game 5, but then I don't think it's going past 6.
So that's what I have got for the NBA. I don't know. You have any other storylines you know about going on in the bubble? Oh, actually, I have a storyline.
Okay.
Did you hear about Daniel House on the Rockets?
Yeah.
Hysterical, dude.
Loved it. I don't see what was wrong with it.
So just to recap, in case people don't know, Daniel House, a forward on the Rockets, brought someone into his hotel room in the bubble and the league found out and suspended him, I believe, indefinitely.
Well, it was a person who conducts the test for COVID.
Wink, wink, though. These are probably after hours, Matt.
What do you mean?
It was probably a little kissy sesh.
No, I'm sure. I know what it was. What I'm saying is, it was basically a nurse or doctor or whatever who was already in the bubble conducting tests for COVID.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't. So for that same reason, I really don't understand what the problem was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they suspended him indefinitely, and
they suspended him. I just saw they were investigating.
Yeah, well,
which I don't know what there is to investigate, but
to investigate how much kissing went on.
Must have been a lot.
It must have been a lot. But true, she then said, I actually didn't visit Daniel House, but instead I visited 2 different Rockets players. So now, what it reminds me of is that chick with the Suns and the blowing the 7 dudes. Like,
yeah,
this is just an absolute clusterfuck. Literally.
Wait, so is he coming back if it wasn't him?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's a clusterfuck. I have no idea. But someone's getting suspended, if not multiple people.
So stupid.
It is stupid.
That's so dumb.
You got to let the guys smash. You have to assume they're smashing in the regular season, so.
Oh, they are.
So let them smash in the post.
Yeah, with someone who they didn't sneak in. They literally found the loophole, and you're getting mad at them.
Yeah, that's true. That's your fault for these Swiss cheese rules that you've got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless there was a rule that we don't know about. But I doubt there was. I don't think. Yeah. Stupid.
By the way, though, basketball players, while they probably go to a ton of strip clubs, do not smash as much on the road as baseball players do.
Is that still the case?
I think so, because these guys stay 3-4 nights at a place.
That's fair. That's very fair.
So if they think they could get maybe through 1 or 2 nights, nope. Find my booty call. We're in Milwaukee. I know I got Jessica down the street.
All right. Yeah, no, you bring up a good point. You bring up a solid point.
That's baseball, man. But yeah, that's just. Hey, you can listen to Call Her Daddy. She even talks about how that's what they do in professional athletes. Like, it is what it is. You got to let them do their thing. I don't know why the league is really blue balling Daniel House so much, but
yeah,
that's what's going on.
They're stud shaming.
Stud shaming.
It's like slut shaming, but for dudes.
I like that a lot, actually.
Thank you. I thought it was horrible. I was actually upset I said it.
Stud shaming. All right. We've officially started hashtag stud shaming.
Okay.
Let's see. Any other basketball lines? Actually, they go into our rumors. So why don't we get into our rumor mill? Unless you have another storyline.
Nope.
I didn't think so. So we're going to the rumors. Mine has to do with basketball. It is with someone playing right now in the bubble. It is Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. People were a little confused when the Lakers traded for AD, not for why they traded for him, but for how much they gave up to New Orleans because of the fact that he, despite potentially re-signing in the offseason, is technically a 1-year rental. He has a player option and is most likely going to be opting out this offseason. Most people expect that, but there's speculation now that rather than re-signing with the Lakers at the end of the season, that he's going to join the Bulls.
Really?
But my question to that is why?
That was my question, too.
They suck. They don't stink. They suck.
Yeah, they're terrible. Wait, who's their coach? Did they hire a new coach? I know they fired their guy.
Yeah, they fired Vogel. I think it was...
no, not Vogel. That's the Lakers coach.
Oh, you're right. I could see his dumb face. David hated him all the time.
Yeah, he does have a dumb face. He's also just dumb.
He is.
Whatever, it really doesn't matter. He's very, insignificant. All I know is he's gone. I don't think they don't have a head coach. So I don't know who is in Chicago that he'd want to play with. Zach LaVine? I don't know why you'd want to play with Zach LaVine.
Well, they've also been rumored to be trying to trade Zach LaVine.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing or what he's thinking.
I guess he wants to be the face of the franchise and rebuild around him. But you tried to rebuild in New Orleans, my friend, and it went terribly.
It was going good until Boogie got hurt.
Well, yeah, and then he chickened out and forced his way out.
I don't blame him.
Well,
I don't blame him at all.
Why would he go to Chicago then?
I don't think he should go to Chicago. I think that's a stupid destination. He should go somewhere else.
Yeah, like New York.
New York would probably be smarter.
It might be a little smarter, to be honest. I'm not going to say it's much smarter, but it might be a little smarter.
I just don't see why anyone would want to go to Chicago.
No, not right now. I know they have the number 4 pick, but that's meaningless. It's the top 3 of the draft. After that, the draft sucks.
The top 3 aren't good.
Oh, well, Anthony Edwards is going to be a stud.
I don't know. There are people saying this is the worst draft of all time.
Well, I don't know about all time.
That's what people have been saying.
I mean, people have said James Wiseman is not going to be amazing.
LaMelo
Ball, I think, is super overhyped.
Yeah. I don't think the 4 pick and Zach LaVine and whoever else might be there. I don't know a single other person on that team. Sure, Wendell Carter. I don't think that's enough that Anthony Davis could possibly look at Chicago and go, that is where I can build a dynasty.
Oh,
or cement my legacy.
He left New Orleans that had a better team than Chicago.
Right.
So what's the point of going to Chicago? I agree wholeheartedly. There's no point.
Yeah.
So unless they throw the bag and then some extra incentives his way, I don't understand where this rumor comes from. But that's the rumor I've been hearing.
I think he stays with the Lakers, though.
I think so. Candidly, I agree. If I'm going to throw one out there, I will say the Knicks because they could throw the bag at him because they have nothing else to do. But I don't think he's going to be a Knick, so I'm going to say it's the Lakers.
Yeah.
But that's my rumor for this week. Sula, what do you have going on in the rumor mill for you?
I have a player that was booted out of the bubble by the Nuggets. He wasn't kicked out. The Wizards are possibly looking to trade for Rudy Gobert.
Oh.
And it has been thought that the Jazz are willing to trade him because they don't think in today's modern NBA that he's the kind of player that you can really keep and give a max contract to and help win a championship. But what the crazy part is the Wizards could possibly, and it's been talked about, offering up 6 players to trade for Rudy Gobert.
Why?
I don't know, dude.
Why, dude? I wouldn't trade 3 players for Rudy Gobert.
No, I wouldn't either. But I mean, I don't think it's smart. I mean, you know what? It might be. Rudy Gobert, John Wall, and Bradley Beal. If you can have that in your starting lineup, every year Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Bradley Beal really came out this year. I've always liked John Wall. I think that could be a good team. Granted, depends where you put around him. And if you give up 6 players, I don't think you're going to have a lot around them.
Well, you could get their top big men are going to be going in that trade. Roy Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, those guys are gone. They're gone.
But it's an interesting thing to look at. I don't think it probably will happen, but it's been rumored. I think the 6 players thing is crazy.
That would be absolutely nuts. And honestly, I really don't like Rudy Gobert. I think he's an exceptional defender, but that is all he can do. He gets defensive boards because he's a good defender, but he cannot score the basketball. He can't. He is literally inept when it comes to offense.
Yeah, he needs an alley-oop thrown his way.
He can't score. He really can't. I can't emphasize enough. He can't score. So you can't have that in the NBA anymore. You can't have the big guy who just gets boards and defends the paint and that's it. We are in the small ball era. You need someone who can score. Mm-hmm. Gobert can't score in the paint or outside of it. He's literally a useless player on offense. You're playing 4-on-5 when you have Gobert. So I am clearly very adamant against Rudy Gobert. I don't like him. I wouldn't want him on my team, let alone trade 6 players for him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's absurd.
It seems like the Utah Jazz thinking exactly like you, Jazz.
Well, I also heard riffs from when coronavirus happened that he and Donovan Mitchell were literally at each other's throats. They hated each other. And in last week's episode, we haven't talked about Donovan Mitchell potentially signing the max with Utah this offseason. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, you got to get Gobert out of there. If they're not playing well together, you've got to get him out of there.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know why Rudy Gobert would hate Donovan Mitchell. I can see why Donovan Mitchell would hate Rudy Gobert.
I think it's more like that.
Yeah. But I agree. If you somehow keep Donovan Mitchell, I think you got to get Gobert out of there.
Mm-hmm. So we will see. I don't know what the odds are on any of these trades happening, but if you ever want to place any sort of bet of your own, quick little ad break here. Again, if you think you know the game yourself and you want to make a bet of your own, whether it's on the outcome of a game or on any sort of prop that we talk about, there's really no better place to do it than our friends at PointsBet. So PointsBet, if you haven't heard, it's one of the most unique and innovative legal sports books in the U.S., and I'll show you exactly where you could go with that as well. In the U.S., thanks to its unique twist on sports betting called points betting. So in addition to doing any sort of fixed odds like you're used to with your traditional sports book, you have this aspect of points betting, which is a high-risk, high-reward form of betting where you can make a bet and you're rewarded not if you're right or wrong, but you're rewarded or docked by how right or wrong your wager was. So unlike fixed odds, each point of difference from the spread or total becomes a multiplier of the original stake that you placed. So you can win or lose more and more based on the outcome of your wager. So let's say if you're right by a lot, you'll see your winnings start to really skyrocket. So if you're ready to bet on yourself, whether it be on this fixed odds or with points betting, you could go to straightupsports.com/pointsbet if you are a New Jersey or Iowa resident over the age of 21 and register for 2 risk-free bets worth up to $1,500. And again, that is 2 risk-free bets worth up to $1,500. If you go to straightupsports.com/pointsbet and use our code that applies, it'll be SU Sports. So I know for sure I'll be betting on the game coming up. We are the Chiefs and the Texans. We'll be betting all NFL season. But what we talked about baseball. We talked about basketball. We talked about football. We did not talk about baseball. But what happened recently in baseball was the Braves just obliterated the Marlins, scoring an NL record 29 runs, which is absurd.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a lot of runs.
Yeah, a record amount of runs.
Yeah.
So it prompts the question of not only like what is like the most points that you've ever seen scored, but what is the biggest blowout that you've ever seen in sports, whether it's in your lifetime or all of life? What is the biggest blowout that you can remember in sports history? There are definitely a few I can remember with my teams. So, Sula, I'll let you go first with our bottom of the barrel. What's a blowout that you can remember you thought was just insane?
Well, I know there's one that we might both have, but I think I'll let you have it. And I'm going to go with my first pick for Super Bowl 48, Seahawks and Broncos, when the Seahawks just absolutely destroyed the Broncos, who was the best offense of all time, 43-8, and just completely shit stomped them. It was crazy.
That Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, didn't it start with the what's it called? The snap over Peyton's head, and it was, I think the Seahawks got it immediately. That happened at some point. Either way, it was crazy.
First play of the game.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing that happen to the team that we watched break like every touchdown record. Peyton broke the touchdown record. He threw 7 in the opening game of that season. Like, I thought that was the craziest blowout I've ever seen. Granted, it was the Legion of Doom. It was one of the best defenses we've ever seen. But I did not expect for the Seahawks to blow them out by 35 points.
Yeah, what was the final score of that game?
43-8.
That's just absolutely brutal.
I only didn't pick another one that I think you might have because of it being the Super Bowl and like the severity of the game, I think makes it even more shocking.
Okay, I like that. I don't know if mine right now is going to be the one you were thinking of, but it very well could be. I'm thinking back to Thanksgiving Day back in, I believe it was 2012, the Jets versus the Patriots. It was the Mark Sanchez coveted butt fumble game where the Jets lost 49-19. Again, 49-19 in an NFL football game. I've seen the Jets lose by a lot, so I'm not really not used to it, but they were supposed to be at least decent. And on national television, on America's favorite day, at least one of my favorite days, Thanksgiving, they not only lose to their biggest rival, the team I hate the most in the Patriots, but they get massacred by 30 points And to top it all off, the cherry on top, the whipped cream on our pumpkin pie, Mark Sanchez has probably the most hilariously bad play in NFL history with the goddamn butt fumble. So
Yeah.
it holds a very special place in my heart for hatred, but it was also one of the worst blowouts I can remember.
That was actually not the one I thought you were going to go with.
Oh, was it a Jet game?
It was a Jets-Patriots game.
Oh, well, then I think I know what you're talking about too, but no, I'm not going to go with that one because they got their revenge after that.
Still a bad blowout.
It still was a bad blowout, but I don't
really remember anything from that Thanksgiving game aside from the butt fumble because all the Patriots blowouts of the Jets, they all blend together.
Cool story. I'm not going to disagree, but thanks for that. So that's one of mine. My second one is going to go to another team that I remember because I'm a big fan of. It is our New York Mets, and it just always happens against the Washington Nationals. I was looking for what the game was, and of course it was the Nationals. We've been to several Nationals Mets games, and the Mets have lost, I think, all of them. And I'm not exaggerating on that. I'll never forget the one that we went to where they were up by like 7 runs in the 8th inning, and of course lost. But that's not the game I wouldn't think of. It is back in 2018, August 1st of 2018. It is notable because they lost 25-4 in Nationals Park.
Oh, I do not remember that.
25-4. I remember very vividly. I remember turning it on, seeing them go down 7-0, turning it off, checking the final score, and it's 25-4. I'm pretty sure Jose Reyes pitched in that game, if that tells you how it went.
I love that. I love when position players pitch.
It's hysterical.
It's always fun.
Except for when it's your team, and it's because you're awful.
Yeah, sure.
But that one really stung because the Mets should have been at least relatively decent in 2018 after a pretty bad 2017. And to see them get wrecked in August by the Nationals by 21 runs was painful. So that's my second big blowout. So we'll go to you after that.
Okay, I'm going to skip on the Pats-Jets one. Just note, it was 45-3, just a note. But number 3, I'm going to go with in March of 2018, the Charlotte Hornets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 140-79. Jeez. They won by 61 points. Kemba Walker had 46 of those points, so he had himself a game. But as a professional team to score 79 points in a league where no one plays defense.
No one.
Is just embarrassing. Especially in 2018 where every team is already shooting a ton of threes. I didn't go back to look at how badly they really shot. But anytime in the NBA you lose by 61, which is damn near almost what you scored, is crazy.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
I go as far as to say that's bad.
I go out on a limb. That's pretty bad. A limb or two.
So Jordan got a little revenge, but what's your number 3 then?
My number 3, I'm actually going to go to last night, but not the game that we saw. I'm going to go with the Brewers and the Tigers. The Brewers won 19-0. Usually when one team is scoring that much, the other team, at least the Marlins scored 9 runs.
Right. 29.
That's not a 9 runs by your offense is good. That's at least a plus side. The Tigers got 2 hits, 0 runs, and struck out 11 times. At home. Against the Brewers, who kind of suck this year.
They're not good.
That is terrible. Just terrible.
Did you at least see the meme they put out afterwards of, bro, I'm not having a good time?
Yeah. That I always like that. I always like that meme. That meme gets me every time.
Acknowledge what happens at least.
I like when they do, because I think the Marlins did something similar, but I don't remember what it was. But, the Marlins lost by 29-20. But the Tigers lost by 19, 1 run less, without scoring a single run. I think somehow that's worse.
I like that.
Because at least, the Marlins, for the most part, your pitchers are doing a bad job, which probably means, 4 or 5 guys did a bad job. Every single person on the Tigers did a bad job. Every position player, every batter, and the pitchers.
I wonder if there's, a record of point differentials for a single night? Because this has to be up there, right? The Braves outscored the Marlins by 20. The Brewers outscored the Tigers by 19. That's already 39 runs in differential.
Yeah, that's got to be up there.
That's got to be a record.
We'll get Matt on it.
Yeah,
Matt, look it up.
We get Matt no time, but so my last one for the bottom of the barrel, it's more like a fun fact one, because this is when sports was kind of stupid, but in a college football game, Georgia Tech versus Cumberland College,
Okay.
1916. Do you want to just guess what this final score was?
First of all, 1916 might as well not be a real year.
It was
so long
in
ago.
the middle of war. It was a wartime.
Not a real year.
Game.
Sports-wise, it's not a real year. But I'm gonna guess it was
College football.
105-0.
Yeah, try doubling that and then some. 222-0.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Apparently, Cumberland finished with. You want to guess how many rushing yards they had?
Is it negative?
Yeah.
That okay? Let me give it to me.
It's minus 96 rushing yards.
Yo, how is that possible?
I don't
Did
know.
they not have an O-line?
It's like you pitch it back 10 yards every play. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but they lost 222-0.
That's the craziest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
So I know it's not real college football, but it's something, you know? It still counts in the record book, and that is something else.
They played the game, so it's real.
It's happened. It's in history. And I bet if you go to the College Football Hall of Fame down in, I think it's Atlanta, I'm sure they have it there.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. So that's my number 3. Matt, are you ready to come on, give some honorable mentions? Yes, he is. Let's add him into the stream. Matt, welcome.
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Good. So I got 2 honorable mentions. 2019 Women's World Cup, U.S. versus Thailand. They won 13-0. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like all over social media, and people were getting on them about. It was like when they were starting to say like, should there be a mercy rule? Why should you keep celebrating after like 10 goals? That was like such an awesome game to watch. Like all the goals were actually like, really good too. So that was like a complete blowout, and on the biggest stage. Like a lot of these games happen in like a meaningless regular season game. Had to do it in the World Cup. It's just like really, really cool.
Sure.
Then I looked this one up. Okay, so this game happened in Madagascar in 2002. It's also a soccer game. It's AS Adema. It's 149-0.
It's soccer?
Yeah. I know it's soccer. I know you guys don't follow soccer. Soccer's only 90 minutes. So that's like over like almost 2 goals every minute, which is like, I don't think you could even do if you tried to do that for 90 minutes. Like that's almost impossible.
No.
Like they were probably just like putting the ball in their own net at some point. Like it doesn't even make any sense, but 149-0 was like the full-time score, which is nuts.
That sounds like a Kim Jong-un North Korea score. You know, like we just whooped South Korea 185-0.
Yeah.
To go off of the World Cup one, there was it Germany against Argentina?
No, Brazil.
It was against Brazil.
It was against Brazil?
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Well,
we don't talk about that too much.
Although my favorite thing from that game and the Women's World Cup game is when everyone will upload the game to Pornhub and just put like 11 Germans absolutely gangbang Brazilians.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Germany's
my favorite thing every time.
They did it to Barcelona again. They did it 8-2 in the Champions League a few weeks ago. So they're known for like dominating people. So
no kidding.
Absolutely hysterical.
A lot of context too.
Awesome.
Okay. So any other honorable mentions that you could think of, either Matt or Sula or myself?
No. Unless you want to talk about the Pats Jets Meadowlands massacre.
No, but I do like the fact that when they got massacred, they came back and beat them in the AFC divisional round. I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, that was really cool, and they also won the Super Bowl that year. Oh, wait. They fucking didn't, Chaz.
Yeesh.
Killed them.
Shut up. This has been Last Second Covers. I'm Chaz here with Sula and Matt. If you tune in to this week's podcast, thanks for checking out the live stream. No, honestly, though, we have a lot of things to look forward to. We have NFL football coming up in just a little bit. We'll actually, by the time this comes out, we'll know who the winner was. Again, that was a great game. But if you caught us on our YouTube live stream, we appreciate you. We love you. This comes out all the time, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. We did it a little early today so that we could actually catch the football game when it starts. But if you caught our live stream, please be sure to just like our Facebook page and sub to the YouTube channel wherever you saw this podcast streamed. And if you caught us on our podcasting platforms, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, any major podcasting platform, you name it, and we are there. All that we ask is you drop a 5-star review and comment something you liked about the show so we know what to keep going with moving forward, so we give you the best kind of content. So again, guys, we embrace the storm. It has been no joke 6 months since we had some meaningful sports, and I even say that with basketball going on, but football really is back. Enjoy. We've earned it. I can't wait to see what happens, so we will talk to you next week when we see it, but have fun, guys.
Later.
See ya.